if you're funky, shake it. So funky that you just can't take it, then go on. Use or lose your thing. You got to use or lose your thing.
Good. Last time I saw you, we were discussing how we were going to record our next albums. I remember you were very conflicted about whether to go independent or not. You wanted to raise money on your site, but you were afraid that maybe nobody would do it, or that you would put in all the effort and nothing would come back. And now I see that you've raised all this money.
Yes.
How much did you raise?
About $37,000.
And you're doing everything on your own. You're managing yourself right now.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I just spent.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot.
Why? It's hard to do by myself. I have to say, there are days where I just think, I don't know if I can keep going like this.
Yeah.
But you do, right? It's like anything. Any self-employed person, I'm sure, wakes up and says, this is too much work, but if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. Because
you want to play and write songs and make music, and you don't want to spend all of your days updating your website or... I've been doing, the last few days, I feel like I've been doing nothing but that. One thing I like about it is that I feel like I don't make lazy decisions. When somebody's working for me, I feel like I tend to zone out. I feel like, well, that's covered, and all they need from me is an answer, and then I don't really know the answer because I'm not engaged in the process. And when I'm engaged in it, I feel like I make better decisions, but I'm also spending too much of my time doing it. You know, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, you need an intern.
Where do you get something like that?
I'm not sure. I guess at the local colleges, they have people that might work for free, they say.
Really?
I live, as you know, in Massachusetts, so Emerson
Health
College.
Insurance. Massachusetts.
Oh,
Public.
yeah. That's right.
Okay. Not to get all political on you, but.
I didn't have health insurance for years. Did you?
I do now. Yeah.
I do. I pay for it monthly. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I do too. I'm one of the only people I know who has it. My keyboard player, Dred Scott, was asking me why my music isn't more political sometimes, you know, because he was asking me this because he hears me. He hears me talk about politics a lot. And so he was saying, well, how come you don't write? Yeah, well, how come you don't put it into the songs? I don't think he cared. I think he was just asking.
Huh.
And I was making the case that I felt like when you're a musician in America, you're already political because you've already disengaged from the system and what the system has to offer. And health insurance being one of those things, you've already made the decision to, you know, to not be part of that.
My songs aren't political either.
Yeah.
But I feel like they have a point of view that expresses something about caring about people and what we're experiencing.
But that's my point in a way, which is that I think that it's political by default, or just, you know, you grew up blue collar, your dad's a barber, he's not a stockbroker, he's not, you know, and you had to decide to take the risk to do what you're doing. So that's political in a way. It's not, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still working on this concept. I don't know, I'm like working it out, you know. Like, what is it to you?
I grew up feeling very affluent, actually. I mean, I had everything I needed. I went to private schools. I went to Barnard College. I mean, I kind of traveled in pretty elite circles in a way, but I also didn't.
I didn't. I smoked pot with all my friends and quit school.
No, I mean, it's weird because I think that's part of my music and part of, I don't really know where I fit in. I guess just choosing a life, I mean, having really the freedom to do that. And it didn't seem like a courageous choice. It felt natural because it really did bring me happiness. And I guess when you're young enough, you think, oh, I can succeed at this. You have no idea the obstacles you're going to face.
Yeah.
So you go into it with complete optimism and an illusion of inevitability.
Did you have support from your folks to do it?
Yeah, and I still do.
Yeah.
So many years later.
Too.
Yeah, I think they were very excited because I don't feel like they had those choices.
Yeah.
My dad nor my mom. They go through the struggle of it too. We're very close. So they've been there with the ups and the downs.
Yeah.
Is that the same with your parents?
My folks
I've
were
met
very
your parents. Very nice.
My parents I think they were very thankful that I had a direction because I was bad at school, and so they, you know, the fact that I liked music and I could maybe try something, because I wasn't going to college. I didn't go to college.
You didn't?
No.
I didn't know that. I have friends that went on to, you know, they're professors and stuff, and I thank God that I didn't go into that world because I think it's not me. It's a tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It might even be tougher than the music business.
Maybe so. My father worked for a hotel. He was like a food purchaser for a hotel. And then my mom worked as a bookkeeper at an office. And they hit that generation where, like, if you just worked, you could have everything, you know? And, you know, middle class, they could get the mortgage paid, they could get the kids to a doctor. I think in this day and age, that doesn't really exist anymore. You can't just get a job and stay with it for 30 years. Most people work 5 or 6 jobs, and they don't have insurance, and they don't have any of this stuff. So being a musician right now is kind of, it feels like a good choice, because it doesn't feel like you're missing out on any of the secure arrangements. Yeah, the perks, the security or whatever. There is no security anymore, so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it reminds me a little bit of what my dad did because it was his own business. I mean, I feel like that's what I do. I'm a self-employed person.
Yeah.
But that's just how I grew up. Like, I know that seems very normal to me, that nobody's going to pay health insurance for me.
I feel like when I moved to New York, it was a long time before I realized that meeting people like you is more rare than meeting people who have a lot of stuff from their family and have a lot of support and maybe live off of money that they receive and stuff like that. Like
yeah, is that going? That's
yeah, I feel like no, it's true. I mean,
in New York in particular.
In New York in particular, I can't speak for other places, but in the music business, yeah, I feel like it's a very affluent place and a very, in some ways, a bit of a monarchy in a way as well. There's a lot of passing down from people who are already established in the music industry to their kids and all this kind of stuff, and trying to break in from the outside.
Musicians who have been successful, had kids, and then their kids are in the business.
Yeah, it's easier for people who aren't just kind of coming from out of nowhere. Like, you know, in my case, Delaware, in your case, you know, South Massachusetts, just, hey, I sing, you know, check this out, you know. And trying to like hook up all the connections and all the stuff that you need to really get your career on track.